Hello, and welcome to my channel. I'm Charles Abels, local photographer in and around the Prescott Valley area. I hope you enjoy my presentation. I have a confession to make. A couple of months ago, at work with friends, when talk turned to doing an aggressive, almost 20-mile day hike in the Grand Canyon come up, discussed and planned many iterations, to where we finally set on a date, Columbus Day weekend in October. I reviewed, well, frankly, I reviewed two of my digital cameras that I have. The Leica SL2-S and the Leica M240. Both phenomenally awesome cameras. Both serving purposes. To give you a basic gist, the aggressive hike that I'm referring to is on the South Kaibab Trail. Feel free to look it up on online on the South Kaibab Trail. We're going to hike down all the way to the bottom, to the river. And then we're going to hike back up, but this time on the Bright Angel Trail. Now this is almost, some would argue it's longer than 20 miles, but when you go online, it's just short of 20 miles. And it's long. And on top of that, when we leave Phantom Ranch to go up to the South Rim proper, or the South Rim Village, we're almost putting we got almost a mile elevation gain. So it's going to be a challenging hike. So when I thought of the camera gear that I wanted to go down, and I digress, my apologies, the Leica SL2-S would be a phenomenally great camera to pack down there. But it is, when you consider the lens, my 24-70 lens on there with the camera body, it is just short 4 pounds. And no matter how much I love the camera, I don't really relish the thought of packing that much weight on my shoulders, as it were, with a day pack down to the bottom and back up. Not yet, anyhow. So, what is my confession? Well, I gave it some serious thought. Got online and did some serious reviews of cameras. I was primarily set on a small, lightweight, mirrorless camera to pack down there with me. And after much review, I settled on Panasonic Lumix. It is a G85. Very lightweight, whereas my Leica with its lenses and everything is just short of 4 pounds. This camera is just over 1.5 pounds. So, this is my confession. I got a new camera. Let's get into the main feature of this camera. I have my cheat card. The main feature, it's a 16 megapixel, 4/3 CMOS sensor. It has an ISO range of 200 to 25,600. It has a 5-axis sensor shift image stabilizer. I know, that sounds pretty awesome, don't it? It has a 3-inch fully articulated screen. Now, I do love this benefit, especially going down and hiking. But I mean, I could take that screen and turn it around. I can keep it closed. It does have an electronic viewfinder. This was definitely a must. I wanted an electronic viewfinder. 4K 30 frames per second. Duh. With a FHD at 60 frames per second. Both the body and the camera, or the lens, are both weather sealed. Especially now with the monsoon season, having a weather sealed camera is very important to me. Now the lens, give me a second. It's a Lumix G85 1.35 to 5.6 / 14 to 140 millimeter ASPH. I wanted a lens, not a big zoom lens, but a lens that was just as lightweight to be able to reach out there. Now, I'll explain further. Granted, it's a 140 maximum, but when you consider that it is a 4/3 sensors, what that equates out to is this lens is actually 28 millimeters to 280 millimeters. I know, is that not awesome? I wanted to get a lens that was not only weatherproofed, or weather sealed as it were, but I wanted the lens that would allow me the opportunity to reach out there, especially if I see any wildlife while either hiking, backpacking. So, that is my confession. Terrible, isn't it? I think this one, the G85, is going to make it much more easier, safer as well, to hike down into the bottom of the Grand Canyon. We're going to see about having some fun with this camera this afternoon or today. So, let's see what this thing can do. Well, I have to say that I am very much impressed with the Lumix G85. It exceeded my expectations, and I hope the little video clip of my walk around on Lynx Lake shows that you'll see that this is not a, for the price point, this is really not a bad camera to have. Some highlights on this. When I set it up, because I wanted to do both photographs and videos, I decided to do something that I ordinarily don't do. But I set the mode dial to, on the P, which I believe is program mode, and then set the ISO to 1600. And I basically went from photograph to video. I wanted to be able to have something that was a small transition. So rather than using this dial here to go to movie, I wanted to be able to leave it in the P, program mode, take pictures, and then hit the camera knob right there, or the video knob right there, and be able to shoot both photographs, and then if I wanted to transition in the video in one smooth flow. The other highlight is I was in white balance, and I changed my white balance between sunshine and clouds. It depended on the circumstances. It was a partly cloudy day yesterday, so I just swapped it out to get the best quality photograph as well as video as possible. The Panasonic Lumix G85 is, I think it's going to be my go-to camera when I go out and do the hikes. It's lightweight. It's actually phenomenally intuitive and simple, especially if you have any experience with other digital cameras, mirrorless. I love the lens. Very easy to use, and I'm frankly here again quite surprised at how well it did zoom in. And so until next time, we'll catch you later.